Boom, it's craft subscription box time. So, this month I have treated myself to the Makerly box. What Makerly is a monthly crafts to your doorstep box, and each month is a completely different craft. So they've done things like knitting and crochet in the past. It's enough to give you a whole complete project and a flavour of a craft that you might not otherwise have wanted to try. And in this box, you get all of the tools and materials and full-on instructions to have a complete project from beginning to end. So I bought this myself. This isn't like a sponsored thing or anything. But Makerly are based in the UK. So including postage, this kit costs you £15. And they do ship internationally. So you can sign up if you're abroad at just a slightly higher cost to cover the postage. And I'm really excited about this. I didn't know when I signed up for this that they ship them on the 15th of each month. And I signed up on the 23rd last month. So I've been waiting a long time because this was also late due to the current situation out there in the world. So this arrived today. So I'm super excited, and I have no idea what the craft is this month. I wanted it to be a surprise. So the plan today is we're going to open this up, have a look at the bits and bobs we get in it, and I'm going to do a bit of a review if I think this is something that is worth subscribing for. Talking about subscribing, why don't you click on the subscribe button below to be notified of when I upload new videos, because I'm going to be doing a lot more craft related things, not just Cricut tutorials like I have been. I'm a bit of an all over the shop crafter. I like a bit of everything. So a bit of my background as a crafter. I have tried most things. I have quite a short attention span, so I can get really engrossed with one particular thing and then suddenly lose interest in it, which means over the last couple of years I've tried cross stitch, knitting, crochet, paper crafts, needle felting, vinyl, pyrography. Like, I'm sure there's like a dozen more crafts that I've tried and like moved on to something else through. So something like this is a cheaper way of trying out those hobbies. So let's not delay anymore. Let's open it up. This package was just the right size to fit through my letterbox, so that's brilliant, because if you're not in, then you don't have to worry about the package not arriving. Oh, I suppose we should do a sound test. Can you hear that on the mic? Yeah, there's not much of a giveaway onto what this could be. So as I said, this is July's box, and it was about a week late because they had some supplier issues. So I'm hoping that the wait has been worth it. Ooh, what do we get? We've got some confetti. We've got a lovely sort of card. What I'm going to do is I'm going to have a brain freeze, it would seem. So yeah, which camera should we show you to? There we go. Got this lovely postcard. Welcome and thank you for signing up to Makerly. So no giveaways so far as to what it is. I'm guessing this confetti is part of the experience and not of the craft. It's feeling quite squishy. I'm going to guess maybe it's a fabric-based box this month. Ooh. This is a guide to Temari. I have no idea what that is. Temari balls are a traditional folk art that originated in China and was introduced to Japan in the 7th century. So this kit includes balls, wadding, threads, gold, stuff, needle, pins, a bookmark and tassels. So I guess this is giving us everything to make our own ball. Let's have a read. Temari are considered a highly valued and cherished gift, symbolising deep friendship and loyalty. So, looks like the instructions are very clear, and we could end up with a couple of balls at the end of this. Okay, let's dive into what we've got in the box then. So we've got our threads. We've got this kind of peachy colour. We've got a nice emerald green colour. And more of like a tan khaki green sort of colour. We've got a tape measure. I think that's a really nice touch that you do get literally everything you need in the box. So I've already got a tape measure, but many people might not if they're not into sewing or other crafts. It looks like we've got our wadding, which will pump out our balls, I imagine. We've got this lovely little bag. I'm going to save that till the end because it's nice. We've got balls. Have you got balls? I got balls. What sort of balls? Come on, come on, come on. Right, 1, 2, 3, 4. Come on! I think we've got 5 balls. So we should have enough for 5 Temari balls by that logic. They're a little bit smaller than I'd have thought from looking at the cover. I don't know, I was expecting them to be a bit more giant, but we'll give it a go. We have a very long needle. Let me see. Focus. Yes, I've got a very long needle. I've got this beautiful gold thread. As a cross stitcher though, I can't help but curse when I handle metallic threads because they are a nightmare to stitch with. I've got more skeins, so that sounds like more threads. Oh, look at this. We have got a lot of embroidery floss. We've got these lovely green colours and peaches like the cotton. We've got a red, a black. I can't see, this doesn't appear to be like a branded thread. So usually if you're doing something like embroidery or cross stitch, you'd go with a branded company like DMC or Anchor, because then you always know that when you buy this green it will be this colour green, and it also generally means it's more water fast, but I guess it's not a problem. They're very nice colours. See what we've got. 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9. So we got 9 for our money. Got a lovely wheel of pins, kind of Cruella de Vil style colour scheme going on. And I have to know what's in the tiny bag. We have got jump rings for our Temari balls. Oh, so we've got tiny figures, tiny little jump hoops. Got 5 of them by the looks of it, which makes sense. And then we've got a tassel and 2 key rings. So at the end of this we might have finished 2 proper balls like that you can attach to things. I'm not quite sure what we're going to do with the rest of them. So what I'm going to do now is have a little jump cut to having red... Oh, hang on. What's this? It's like, it must be something that you attach to the ball, or like they've got in the picture here. So it's kind of like a bookmark. It looks like the arm of your glasses. That's what I thought, but that wouldn't make sense. Okay, so I think that's it from the box. What I'm going to do is read through the instructions, and then I'm going to have a go at trying to make my own Temari balls. Okay, so I have had a bit of a read of the instructions, and I'm a little less confused about what to do now, which is good. You know, Try a craft you've not done before on camera, she said. That will be fun. So basically what we're doing is we're going to cut 2 strips of this and wrap it around the ball to make it bigger, kind of like a cotton wool snowball sort of looking thing. And then we're going to unload this whole reel of cotton around it to make an embroidered ball. So let's crack on with that. So it did say everything you need, but it didn't include scissors. So just saying. One thing to note, one of their FAQs on the website is, are these kits suitable for children? No, they are not, is the simple answer. And I can see why. This is something that's going to need a lot of patience. It's obviously got the needle element, so the nice sharp stabby thing. So it said to cut these about the same thickness as your ball. So I think that's right. This does feel a little bit like when you start out with needle felting. There we go. Kind of covering our polystyrene. And I'm going to start with... Which colour do I start with? Because the first is going to be the worst. Which one don't I like? Let's go with peachy. Another point that I've just noticed was in the instructions, their balls are a different colour to my balls. So I guess the threads that you get could be a random combination. So you can't follow like colour for colour. You do have to use your own creativity a bit by the looks of it. So what are we doing? Take the spool of thread and start wrapping it loosely around the outside of your balls. Loosely. You should find that your thread holds the wool to the ball fairly quickly. I could be wrong, but this doesn't feel like woolly wool, not like sheep's wool. This feels more like synthetic wool. It's not a good or a bad thing. It's just a thing, just an observation. Okay, so we're looking a little bit like a disgruntled cloud so far, but I have faith that this is going to work. After we've decanted the whole spool of thread onto this, we're going to decorate it, and they've given 3 different patterns for decoration. So it's kind of looks like embroidery techniques, but in 3D. So that should be fun. I'm probably just going to do a fast forward now through this because this is going to take some time. You can tell from the video that it's sometime later because it's now suddenly very dark. So this first stage of doing one ball has taken me over an hour and 10 minutes. And that's not because it's difficult, but there was quite a lot of string there. But this is the ball I've got. And according to the instructions, I now have to thread the needle through a few times to finish the thread off. Ooh, I don't want to stab myself. Okay. Let's go for the sides. Let's go for the sides. Or just once. We'll put it through once. Whoop. I've broken the needle. Oh. Bowls. I was just doing what the instruction said. Finish off by threading the end of your thread onto your needle and stitching it through the ball a few times. So I've pulled it through the ball once and... Oh, where's the camera? Can you see? I've actually snapped the eye of my needle off, so that's no good. So there was only one needle in the kit, so I'm gonna have to use my own needles. Luckily I do dabble in embroidery, so I have got some with me. Oh no. Oh no. Bear with. So I'm back and I found an embroidery needle. I don't have any that are as long as the one that came with the kit, so we're going to have to wing it, I think. So frustrating. Okay, so it says to thread it through the ball, but I think I'm going to play it safe and just go through the edges, which is where the thread is. This feels better. I thought I was doing it right. It said look, this is what it says. As if by magic you should have a fairly round ball as pictured. Which we do. Finish off by threading the end of your thread onto your needle and stitching through the ball a few times in different directions, then snip off the tail. That feels pretty secure to me. Okay, so let's snip our tail off now.
The next morning.
So it's the next day now. It is 1,100,000 degrees out, so I've got the doors open, so you may hear some things going on outside. But look at my balls! Look at them! Everyone look at my balls! These took me over 3 hours to do in total, so we're already getting our time money's worth out of our kit. This isn't a quick craft, which for something so small has surprised me. They may look quite small still, but this is how small my balls were to begin with, and this is how big they are now. So quite an increase in the size of my balls. So I reckon now the next step is doing the embroidery, which I'm hoping is quite quick in comparison to this, but a lot more satisfying. So, as we remember from last night, I've actually snapped the eye of my needle off, so that's no good. The needle that came with the kit broke, so I am using just an embroidery needle from my sewing kit, or from my embroidery kit actually. Oh, I get through so many needle threaders. Okay, we're doing something called doing underground, like D-E-W. So I think we're just getting our thread so that it's under there. I can pull it through a little bit so the knot's hidden. Oh, brilliant. Woohoo! Snip the tail close to the knot. Brilliant. And move it under a little bit more so that we don't see it. Ah, do that again. Apologies for all the different camera angles and for the giant plane that sounds like it's crashing overhead.
They ask you how you are, you just have to say that you're fine when you're not really fine, but you just can't get into it because they would never understand.
For your first guideline, you want to bisect the ball by wrapping your embroidery thread around the circumference of the ball and back to the starting point. Okay, I can do that. There we go. There we go. That's kind of pretty as it is, isn't it? Just call it quits there. This could be as good as we get. So now we're going to start doing the flower, and I think at this point I'm going to switch to doing like a time lapse because it's got to be super boring watching me do all of this from beginning to end. And we're going to do a little jump cut then to hopefully our finished simple flower.
"72 hours later."
Okay, so we're not a few hours later, we're actually about 3 days later. I had a lot of trouble getting this kit to work, and I don't think it was all my fault. I didn't have expectations of perfection because I've never done this before. I've only done a bit of embroidery before, but the results that I came out with, well, this was my first one. And I'll put some clearer pictures up. But as you can see, it looks very childish, and the beautiful floral patterns that we should be getting just aren't coming out. And I kept checking the instructions, I unpicked a lot of it, and this was the best I could come up with. So I thought, well, this is the simplest pattern, we'll try the next pattern and see how it goes. And this one started coming out even worse. Like, I haven't bothered to finish this one because I just knew it didn't feel right. So what I ended up doing was going to Pinterest and Google Images and having a look at what these balls should look like when, you know, you do it properly. And something I noticed was in their instructions, all of them were using six strings. And I think I commented earlier that seemed like a lot. In cross stitch, you'd normally use 2 or 3. And all of the pictures that I found online were using A, much bigger balls, but B, they were also only using 2 or 3 threads. So I went back to our basic pattern and I had a go at doing it with just the 2 strands. And this is what we came out with. And I have to say, yeah, it's far from perfect, but it's much clearer and much nearer to the expectations I had. The problem when I was using the 6 strands was that these guidelines were slipping a lot more, whereas with the 2 strands, absolutely fine. And you can even still see the flower pattern. So my recommendation, if you're going to get this kit and you're going to do this kit, follow the instructions, but instead of using the 6 strings that they've used, just use the 2. And I think I'm going to have a go at a later date. I need a break from this. It was stressing me out, to be honest. I'm going to unpick this and have another crack using the 2 strands. And I might, you know, check out some different patterns online. So here at Mama Makes Do, we like to craft on a budget. So we do the math for each kit so that you don't have to, and so that you can decide whether it is worth your cash. So I reckon, from what I could find on the internet for postage, packaging, all the bits in the kit, that if I was to buy these bits separately, the kit would come in at around £9. And we paid 15, so we're talking about 60% of the retail price, which I think is pretty good value for a kit. Once you factor in that someone's got to curate this, you know, someone's got to do all the research and people have got to pack it. So that's, you know, a 40% markup, that's not a bad kind of markup. So in that regard, good value for money. Would I buy Makerly again? Yes, I really love the concept. I think it's unfair to judge it on just one box because it could just be that particular craft. It's unfair to judge the consistency in quality across all the boxes just from 1 month. So yes, I will do another month and see how I feel about it. My main frustrations with this kit were the needle breaking. I mean, from the off, that was frustrating. Luckily I do embroidery, so I had needles, but if I didn't, I'd have to go out and buy more needles, which is just a pain in the bum. So they could have, for the price of a needle, put in 2 or 3. As said, the instructions clearly wrong. Impossible as a beginner to get those nice intricate flowers with that thickness of thread. Whatever intricacies you can get are like swamped, so definitely needed to be the two. Also, I'm not the best at learning from written material. I'm more of a kinesthetic and visual learner, so I need to see things being done and I need to have a go. So having a go showed me what I did wrong, learnt from it, did it again. An easy way of doing this in these modern craft kits, considering they are curated each month, is that you could film and have a simple YouTube tutorial to go alongside. So that would be my recommendation for improvement, Makerly. Have videos for each of these. Then we can see clearly what we're doing wrong and what we're doing right. I would have a go at doing Temari again. I have a lot of this stuff in from embroidery cross-stitch projects, so I could have a crack at doing these, and I think they would make pretty cool Christmas decorations. We could look up some different intricate designs and have a go at that. If you liked this video, please give it a thumbs up below. And until next time, goodbye.